Well, it's 7 p.m. here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And this is Saturday Night with CarEdge, with your host, me, Ray, and, well, the t shirted guy, Zach. How are you this evening, handsome?
Is there feedback?
Not now.
Okay, I was super nervous, man. I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, Pops?
For an old guy, I'm doing pretty good.
Okay, cool. Well, I am glad you're doing okay. I want to talk tonight, Dad. I want to kick things off. I am disheveled over here. I gotta, get straightened up. But I want to kick things off, Dad. I want to talk about floor plan costs and growing inventory levels. We've been talking about it all week long here on the CarEdge channel and back over on the Ray and Zach channel. And we can kick things off, Dad, with the realization that car dealership guy is out there doing great work for
Yeah.
the automotive informed community. Let me pull this up on the screen. Did you see? He did a poll just the other day. Let me pull it up here. All right, car dealership guy did this poll, and he said, time for an economic reality check. Attention dealers or dealership management. What interest rate are you currently paying on your floor plan, your inventory line of credit? Before we run through the answers here, did you get a chance to see this, or is this going to be brand new for you?
This, my friend, is absolutely 100% brand new for me.
Can you explain to everyone that tunes in why automakers may have screwed customers and now they're actually ending up in a position where their dealers are unfortunately the ones paying the price? Because we're going to talk about floor plan rates, interest rates here. Can you explain what those are and why those matter?
Well, dealers don't pay cash for their inventory. It's real simple. Okay. They don't pay cash for their inventory. They have millions of dollars worth of lines of credit to pay for their inventory, and they pay interest on every car, every new car, and in some cases, used cars that are on their lot that they've paid for with that line of credit. When floor plan rates were 1%, 1.5%, it amounted to next to nothing. And then during the pandemic, when there were no cars, well, you had no floor plan expense. And when people got back into the market and they wanted to buy cars, and everything that was sold prior to it getting to the dealership, well, the manufacturers underwrite some of that floor plan interest for the dealers. And if you sell that inventory quickly enough, um, then that floor plan subsidy from the manufacturer can become a profit center, because they might cover the interest for the first 15 days or 30 days. Well, guess what? If you sell it in 10 days, they're still giving you the money as if you hadn't. Well, now, because the manufacturers are just building expensive stuff, all those cars are starting to sit, and floor plan interest rates are somewhere around 6.5 to 7%. Well, it doesn't take a lot of inventory for that to add up to millions of dollars worth of cars that are being financed by the dealer. And now floor plan is an absolute expense again.
All right, so look at this, Pops. Take a peek
Okay.
on the screen, and what do you see? 7%. This is from Sleazy Car Salesman. I have a love-hate relationship
You
with
got to
all of them.
change your name. I mean, why do you even want to go by that name? That's just
It's
me. I'm
internet,
sorry.
man. It's
Yeah.
internet. It's internet. So
Yeah.
from Sleazy Car Salesman saying 7% we used to make money on floor plan, now it can net a monthly loss of $200,000. You read through these comments, Dad.
Yes.
Do 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 do. 6.29 on a $7 million average monthly inventory, but we haven't notified. Have been notified it will go up to 7.09 on December 1st. 2 years ago, we were paying 3.89. All the fees and everything. Tony here saying that it would be higher than 20%. I don't see how it could be higher than 20%. We've got another one here, 7%. Hey, there you go. You've actually got someone
Yeah.
shouting out. Yeah.
I recognize that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Someone in the comments on Twitter shouting out Brandon from Car Questions answered. But Pops, you read through here 8%, 11%. This adds up quickly. Stated rate is
Yes.
15%. I mean, Dad, the actual expense. This is why I went with automakers screwed customers, because they're the ones, we're going to look at it here in just a second. They're the ones that keep raising the prices of the vehicles. Now, as that
Yes.
inventory sits, we'll look at that data here in just a second. It has nowhere to go. People have made a conscious decision to stop purchasing these vehicles. It also doesn't help that the average interest rate on an auto loan is north of 10% for a new car and 15% for a used car. But dealers are the ones that are actually then sitting on huge stockpiles of inventory that no
Yes.
one's buying, and they have no choice other than to lower the price.
Well, they have multiple choices. They could not lower the price and hope they can outweight the customer, which means that their cost per car goes up because they're paying X amount of interest every day. Or the smart dealers look at their inventory and they factor in what it's costing them to have it sit there, and they get motivated to get rid of it.
Yep.
The first comment was exactly what I had said, that at one time floor plan assistance made it a profit center for dealers because they were selling the cars faster than they had to pay interest on them. But they got that money from the manufacturer. That's part of the invoice and part of the below the line money that dealers get. And then now it's in excess of $200,000 a month for sleazy car dealer. And I'm sure there'd be any number of people who would say, well, with a name like that, you deserve that. But that's besides the point. It's costing dealers an arm and a leg to sit on inventory. Good operators, smart operators that really understand that the whole concept of the business is inventory management, it are looking at their vehicles as they're aging, and they're saying to their staff, this car needs to go, this one, make sure this stock number goes, get this vehicle in the showroom so that everybody that comes into the dealership sees it. You need to become a better manager. You need to become a more motivated manager to get rid of these things. So it plays a huge part of determining what the deal is going to be.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. And it also shines a light back on the automakers who choose to continue to increase the prices of their vehicles. Let's look at a quick example here, and then we will spend a few moments talking about where you can actually get your hands on the information to know that a vehicle has been sitting around for a long, long time and
Yes.
leverage that. Dad, I'm over here on Ford Authority. There is
Okay.
actually, interestingly, no F-150 incentives for the month of November from Ford. That was one of the announcements we just got. Not a single incentive from Ford, the OEM. That being said, folks, you can negotiate significant discounts
D-
from dealers on F-150s.
doesn't mean the dealer won't discount the car. Um,
And here's yeah,
so-
and
yeah.
here's
So,
the conundrum for them, Pops. Look
yes.
at the year-over-year MSRP changes on America's number one selling pickup truck. Look at this.
Well, the Lariat went down.
Yeah, the Lariat went down, but look what happened to like the Platinum, for example. It went up by $9,600.
Yes.
King Ranch went up by $9,600 or $9,200. $9,200. Like the prices on these, with the exception of the Lariat. So I wonder what they took out of the Lariat. Is the first question going through my mind.
Yes.
If you're a dealer, let's say you've got 10 platinums on your lot right now, that's $670,000 in MSRP. So maybe it's 650,000, 640,000 because it's invoice price.
Maybe it's 600,000 in invoice, but that's $600,000 just in 10 vehicles. Okay, and an average Ford store in the day, well, they wouldn't have 10 vehicles. They wouldn't have 10 times 10 vehicles. They might have 50 times that amount. They might have 500 to 750 cars. Think about how much that would have cost at today's interest rates. So as inventory builds up, these dealers are confronted with the ugly reality that inventory is costing them more than it has in years. You can negotiate with the dealer. Just because the manufacturer hasn't put any money on it yet doesn't mean that the dealer won't give some up. And just a guess here, just a guess, the dealers are going to be screaming and hollering to their factory reps like, what the hell is this nonsense that there's no incentives on the on the F-150s. I'm sure there will be some incentives.
Look what I pulled up on the screen, Dad. Total
Yes.
floor plan spending for public dealer groups in the United States, including giant firms like AutoNation, Lithia, and Group One, was 126.7 million in 2021, according to Kerrigan Advisors. These guys at Kerrigan Advisors, they're the ones that do all the buy-sell
Yes,
transactions in the space. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
yes, they're a buy-sell firm. Yes.
That number rose to 202.6 million last year, and in the first 9 months of 2023 alone, we're at 363.1 million.
I would think that should tell you everything you need to know as to why the dealers are going to be motivated. So that when we put out a video that says wait till December, wait 45 to 60 days, and everybody bitches and moans that, well, you say
can't
that,
say the B word.
and everybody complains that we say that all the time, but we point out the reasons why this year you're going to be able to have some savings. That just backs it up. Okay. So yeah, if you can wait till the middle of December, to the latter part of December, you're probably going to get a better deal than you're going to get right now. That doesn't mean that you can't get a deal right now. You can. Now, perhaps the deal would be $500 to $1,000 better if you waited till after Christmas. But if you don't want to run that risk, go buy the deal now. Go buy that vehicle now. But those are the reasons why. You look at that floor plan interest being paid, and that's just, they were talking about three of the biggest public groups. Well, there's 18,000 franchise dealerships. Okay, they control 500, 600.
Yeah, the
Out of
three groups that were
18,000?
referenced right
Yeah.
there control 500 dealerships, 600 dealerships, not 18,000 that are out there. So yeah,
Exactly.
the magnitudes of scale here are huge. They really, really are huge.
Yes.
And they are going to be a driving factor. And again, I take it back to the automaker, Dad, because you really think when you were running a dealership, did you ever have a vehicle that came out that you just knew couldn't sell because the price wasn't right? People just weren't interested in it. That's what
Yes.
that's what these dealers must be feeling day in and day out right now, getting through October with slower sales than anyone had expected. Although you didn't have to look too far to see that with rising interest rates and increasing prices, people weren't going to be able to afford these things.
And if I may, okay, I worked for the Penske organization for a very long time, 10 and a half years, I think it was, 10 and a half or 11 years. One of the things that Mr. Penske himself, that Roger doesn't like, is he doesn't expect a new car dealership to carry over like we're in 2023. So he doesn't want on January 1st, 2024, for his franchise dealers to still have any brand new 2023s. Having known that as a new car manager, well, starting in October, I started taking better deals on those to get rid of them, so that whatever ones I still had in December, I would do whatever needed to be done to say bye-bye. I didn't want to be getting a call or an email from my area vice president saying, well, you have a handful of 2023s left. So knowing that, okay, I can't imagine that Mr. Penske's attitudes about that have changed. So knowing that, go find a Penske store. Okay. And
Hey, we have CarEdge stores now, so let's not promote the Penske stores too much. No, I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's certain. So there's a little inside information that you can utilize. Now, if you're in an area where you don't have a Penske store, well, you still can negotiate.
Economics are economics, man. This is one of the driving factors that's pushing all the decisions. I imagine you're going to see a recoil effect here to more affordable new cars, or at least a push downward on car prices over the coming years, because the dealer body is going to be so pissed off. Customers are so pissed off. And that being said, Pops, let's jump to the chat here for just a second, because a few comments have come in that I really want to acknowledge. First from Dennis.
Thank you, Dennis.
Dennis, buying a Kia K5 soon via credit union, would it make a difference November or December? Do it in December, right?
If you can, if they have the vehicle in stock, my suspicion is going to be that the largest customer incentives will be in December, and also the largest dealer incentives from Kia will be in December. Now, if it's a limited supply vehicle and the one you want is there now, and there's a pretty strong likelihood it won't be there in December, is it worth risking $500 and losing the car? But theoretically, the deal should be able to be better the latter part of December than it is the beginning part of November.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. I mean, look at Ford. They have no incentives in the month of November on their F-150s. You think there's going to be incentives on F-150s in December? Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's pretty cut and dry.
I think there'll either be incentives or Ford is going to have to pay a lot of ransom money to get their factory reps back because the dealers will kidnap them and hold them hostage.
Let's keep going here in the chat side. We have from Frank. Frank is a salesperson at a Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealership in Long Island, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Frank, good to see you here. Thanks for the contribution. Hey
Thank you,
guys, joined
Frank.
a little late. Dealerships are in trouble. It's going to go back to before COVID times real soon. The bubble has finally popped. His words, not mine, folks, but I agree with Frank.
Yes.
I actually was fortunate enough to have a conversation with Frank last week, Dad, and he was telling me things, they're just a little slower and a lot slower. And it's because people can't, and CDJR, typically leased vehicles, even the lease deals, they're just not payment ranges that people can justify. And especially you and I had a video go out talking about negative trade-ins, man.
Yes.
Hard to justify that lease when you're also rolling in negative equity. It's a not a great situation for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
May I say one thing, though? If you're ever going to roll negative equity into something, as opposed to rolling it into a 72, 84, or 96-month loan, roll it into a 36-month lease. Now, at the end of 36 months, you own nothing, but you also have gotten rid of all that negative equity. If you take that negative equity and roll it into a 72, 84, 96-month loan, in 3 years, you're going to have even more negative equity than you ever thought you would.
I want to see you and Dave Ramsey have that conversation.
I listen, for 43 years, I sat around and I helped people and I listened to people, and people would say to me, well, I'm buried. What do I do? Well, at a certain point, you have to bite the bullet. You're going to have to pay for it. Now, what's the quickest way to get rid of that negative equity? If you can roll it into a lease, that's the quickest way. You've got a 36-month obligation. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. What?
Quickest way is just to pay it off. But, that's another option.
Assuming that people don't have the money to pay it off, which is why they're in a negative position to begin with.
No, they're in a negative position because they probably paid for a service contract and air.
No, they're in a negative position because they walked in, they wanted to buy the car that they wanted to buy, the payment they wanted to buy it, and they didn't have any damn money to put down. I don't know. I was confronted by that 6 days a week, 52 weeks a year. So if people had money to put down, they would have put it down. People don't have the money to put down in most cases. So if you want to get rid of negative equity, the fastest way to do it is to roll it into a lease. That's literally the fastest. I'm not saying you've got something at the end of the 36 months other than you're whole and you can start fresh somewhere. And maybe when you start fresh at the end of 36 months, you'll actually have some money to put down so that you won't be the proud possessor of negative equity again in your next loan.
I exited the screen there. All right, let's keep moving and grooving here. I saw an incredible chat message that came through. And fortunately, we actually have some data on this. On average, how much did vehicle MSRPs increase?
Yeah.
And this question doesn't really have a time frame on it. That being said, we've done the research back at CarEdge.com. If you want to find this guide, just go to resources and then click on free guides. Automakers raising prices the most. Can't sell cars. Justin, thank you for crunching these numbers, Dad. When you look at this chart, we've done a few things here. We've got market days supply. So that's how many days worth of inventory these automakers have out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
Then their 5-year price increase from MSRP, the total number of their available vehicles for sale, and how many have sold in the last 45 days. Striking trend here. Honda inventory, or I'll just say everyone's inventory, their MSRPs have gone up significantly. Honda up 36.95% in the past 5 years. Let's actually sort this. Let's sort this from lowest to highest. So Subaru,
Yes.
has only gone up 25.14%, Nissan up 25%, GM up 27, Toyota up 32, Honda up rounded up 37, Volkswagen up 37, Ford up nearly 42%, Hyundai Motor Company, so that's Hyundai and Kia, 45.86, so 46%, and Stellantis, we can round that up to 49%. Inflation in the past 5 years is 21.5%, folks, for some perspective here. So hopefully that answers that community member's question about, well, how much of MSRP has gone up? A lot.
You know, and I would hope, at least with the Stellantis products, that the quality has gone up 48%. Probably not.
Yeah, unfortunately, probably not.
It would
Definitely.
be nice if it were commensurate with the price increases, however.
All right, so let's do a quick example of how folks can get their hands on some of the information we were talking about earlier. So imagine we led the show with floor plan costs are 7, 8, 9, 10%. And again, that is the interest rate that a dealer is paying to have a piece of metal sit on their lot. That is good information for you to understand, because the longer a vehicle has been sitting, the more likely that dealer is motivated to want to move it. You've shared
Yes.
examples with me and our channel and our community in the past. You would used to motivate salespeople with extra bonuses if they could sell older cars in your lot. Yep.
I mean, I tried all different kinds of things, but in order for the stuff not to get old, um, I would encourage the staff to sell cars that were 150 days old and older before they sold the younger cars. Now, how did I encourage them to do that? Well, there might have been a spiff of $200 extra for a car that was from 150 to 200 days old. There might have been a spiff of $150 for a car that was 100 to 150. So there were times that I would put minimum commissions on some of these cars, plus $1 for every day it sat in inventory. So the minimum commission might have been $500. And if the car happened to have been sitting in inventory for 285 days, it was $500 plus an additional $1 for every one of those 285 days. So the commission was $785. If you don't think that every customer that came into the store, even if they weren't looking for that model, didn't get shown that model, you're out of your mind. Everybody saw that car. Somebody eventually was going to fall in love with it. So that's what's called managing your inventory.
Yeah.
You have to do a weekly breakout of what the age of your inventory is. You have to know exactly what that age is. You have to highlight those aged units to your staff. You have to keep them abreast of it. Always keep them aware of what car's aging and what car's not. If you have two white cars, the same model, the same equipment, the same everything, and one's been on the lot for 100 days and the other one's been on the lot for 15 days, I don't know. I don't want to encourage the guy to sell the car that's been there for 15 days. Go sell the car that's been there for 100 days.
Now, Pops,
Yes.
This is the CarEdge community. You can actually go in and tell them what their most aged unit is. Let me show you something pretty damn cool.
Okay.
Everything I'm about to show you 100% free. There's no catch on this tonight, folks.
Okay.
100% free. Absolutely no catch. Go to the website caredge.com. Let's do it. Let's do the 2023 Ram, because it just has so much inventory, so it's always interesting to do. The 1500. That's going to pull up inventory, right? So you're going to see here in a second all nationwide 2023 Ram 1500 inventory, and right there, the first thing you can see is 50 days on market, 51 days on market, 1 day on market. Something cool that we just released, and I'm going to show you all something that, we got to make this better in the future, but it is pretty doggone cool. We now have under resources dealer reviews, and you might be saying to yourself, Zach, why are you going to dealer reviews? Who cares about dealer reviews? You're talking about aged inventory.
Yes.
Dad, let's put in. I don't know.
This, Zach? Why are you doing this? Come on, clue me in.
All right, so we're going to go here to Ramsey Chrysler Dodge, Chrysler whatever, CDJR. The reason I'm going here is because from here, you can then actually just view the inventory of one particular dealer group. So now we're just looking at 2023 dealer, Ramsey. The reason I did this, I'll get rid of 2023. I'll just do new. And if I'm not mistaken, under our sort, you have from days on market oldest
Yes.
to newest. We are planning on adding over here on the left-hand side a dealer. Now right now we have the trusted dealer, but we are planning on adding the dealer filter over here. We don't have it quite yet. So this is a way that you can get to it. Dad, we are now looking at Ramsey CDJR, their most aged inventory to their least aged inventory. That's pretty dang on cool, isn't it?
And you know what? You know what I don't find surprising? That their
That a
most
Jeep
aged
Grand Wagoneer.
is a 2022. Now, I don't know if it has any miles on it. I don't know if it was used as a demo. I don't, but there. I mean, what was the MSRP on that car? That's the real question. Was it one of those $116,000 ones, and they discounted it 16 grand? But whatever it is, they haven't discounted it enough. It's 2 model years old now. 2. Okay, so people would say, well, my God, there's a year's worth of depreciation. Well, no, actually, now there's 2 years worth of depreciation. But the good news is, if you were to buy it and you went to trade it, well, it is going to be an exceedingly low mileage 2022 when you trade it, so that you'll get that huge up mileage adjustment for the value.
For any of you that are actually actively in the car market, name a dealer in the chat that you're shopping at or contemplating shopping at. And we will do this exact example, and we will look at their most aged inventory while we're waiting for some of those dealership names to come in, Dad. Let's actually click into this Grand Wagoneer. What do you think the price history on this thing is going to show? And look, they've got an aggressive price, man. It's even below what our algorithm says is the fair price. Let's see here. It's going to probably be a bit of an... Oh, my goodness.
Oh. Well, that's almost 2 years.
That's the day's supply in this area. Let's look at the price history.
Wow.
No, they've never priced it differently. They've only ever listed it for this $99,995 price. That's wild.
And even at that, they can't get rid of it.
Wow. Well, you got to imagine that when you go in, that's actually not actually the price. That's just my guess. But what do I know?
Well, that would be a very good guess. But I just.
Let's do this example here. Let's do this example here for Phil Longford. Yeah.
Before we do that, let's just say, for argument's sake, that vehicle had an invoice price of $100,000. Okay, and so yes, almost 2 years ago when they got the car, interest rates were less certainly than they are today. But just imagine what the interest charges, the floor plan costs for that vehicle have been over that 675 days. If it was $10 a day on average, I'm not real good at math, but that sounds like $6,700, isn't it?
Let's do the math, Dad. Let's do the math.
I mean,
so we've done this in the past. So here, let me just pull this over, or let's actually just change the price. We were doing this example on a $75,000 vehicle. What'd you say invoice was on it?
Well, let's just for fun, let's just say it was $100,000. And I just want to pick a $10 average. Okay, because it's not, they've been financing that car for 2 years. So at one point, rates were considerably lower than they are.
So say it's costing them on average $15 a day, Dad. Because this right now in this spreadsheet, give me a second. In this spreadsheet, we're assuming 6.5% floor plan, which is low.
But that's today. That's not what it was. So you'd have to. I just want to take 675 days and say it cost them $10 a day.
That's it. The vehicle wasn't on their lot for 675 days. The market day supply.
Oh, the market day supply. Okay, so
498 days.
Okay, 500 days. So $5,000. It's cost them $5,000, approximately speaking.
Probably more, but I understand what you're trying to do.
Yeah. So, that's a sunk cost. Just at this point, you're never going to recoup that cost.
Think about how much
sell the damn thing.
Think about how much profit built into those Grand Wagoneers that they're willing to just sit on it for $5,000 just because they can still make money on it.
Doesn't make any sense. I'm telling you, having run dealerships, it does not make any sense. Knowing other people who have run dealerships, It doesn't make any economic sense.
Let's keep going through the chat here because tons of dealership names have come through. So let's do this. So from
Okay.
Twin Peak Guardians gave us a nice donation.
Thank
So we
you.
will do this first, and then I'll go back up to that other one in just a second. So Billion Motors in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. All right, let's see
Yes.
what we can do here. That was billion,
Billion with a
like
B. Billion
yeah,
with a
like the
B.
dollar amount. So again, folks, this is kind of janky right now, but we'll be working on it. We'll make it better. You go under resources. Dealer reviews are live, by the way. So you can now sort these like by highest, and you can see tons of dealerships are being rated and reviewed by the CarEdge community, which is super awesome to see. So
It
anyway,
is.
please take a
It
look
is
at that.
indeed.
But I'm going to come over here, and this one was billions.
Billion.
Billion. What was after billion?
Billion Motors.
I don't have a billion motors in our database. We got 73,980 dealers in here. I apologize, Twin Peak Guardians. We don't have billion motors
Well, I
in the
saw
data.
one come through that said downtown Honda downtown LA. And I would be curious about that one because that guy who runs the store every Monday, he posts on LinkedIn a double stacks of deals for the weekend with a ruler so you can see how high the stacks are about how many damn cars they sold that weekend.
I'm not finding them. Honda, Las, no. Downtown LA, BMW of downtown LA. Let's see. No, I'm not seeing a Honda of downtown LA.
Okay,
I don't know.
nobody's done that one yet, huh?
I don't know. We've got this one though. Let's do this one. Hendrick CDJR, Charlotte, North Carolina. This is going to be a really great one, Pops, because thanks for asking
Yes.
about Brandon. So I'll put Hendricks in here. Hendricks. So you know it's going to. This does the perfect example. So there are some dealers, folks, who have
Yes.
actually contacted us. Maybe it's
Yes.
under Hendrick. No, yeah. So Hendrick Chrysler. There we go. Hendrick Chrysler of which one was it?
Charlotte.
Charlotte. All right, let me
That's
see.
what I believe. That's what Brandon asked.
Yeah, I think it's going to be this one right here. So I'm going to do view inventory, and I don't think it's going to work. The reason this isn't going to work is because some dealers have actually contacted us
And asked
and
us not
threatened us.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, threatened us if we didn't take their inventory off of our website. So Hendrick Group, they have a ton of dealerships. They were one of the groups that that told us, if you don't do this, we're going to have to take action. I have no clue what that action would have been. Wasn't worth it. So
But you didn't want to find out. I mean, come on. This is from the guy that
pockets, man.
got convicted of bribing his Honda salesman, not factory managers.
We'll do Dulles Motor Cars so we can at least demonstrate one more example working here. So let's do this. Dulles Motor Cars. There we go. View inventory. And again, the thing that I think is super cool about this is now we are just viewing Dulles motor car inventory. Now I'm going to go to sort, and I'm going to go by days on market oldest. Oh, God.
Wow. It's a used car. They couldn't have had that. Come on. They're not sitting on a used car for almost 3 years.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Maybe this one's an outlier, but I think these other ones are very real, Pops.
Okay.
Let's see here. Price history.
Excuse me. Bless you.
Yeah, man. We have the whole price history this entire time.
Yeah. Wow.
They haven't lowered it, so it makes sense maybe why they're sitting on it.
Well, I don't think I could help them ever run that store because they wouldn't like the way I would run it.
Again, all of that is 100% free. I'll drop the link to dealer reviews, and then again, just click on view inventory and then sort it. It's super cool. We'll make the experience better. It's just going to take us a little bit of time to connect all the dots, but it is accessible, and now you know how to do it. And now you also know about Hendrick Group. They don't want to be associated with us here at CarEdge. Fortunately, some other groups.
I wonder why. Why would that be? Why wouldn't they want us to advertise the cars at the prices that they advertise them on their website for?
Something tells me there was a period of time where they were charging more than what was advertised on their website, but that is my opinion. Who knows?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we charge those dealers a dime for that, do we?
We've never charged a dealer a dime for anything.
So you would think that any type of any type of free advertising as a dealer you would want, unless, of course, you wasn't playing by the rules.
All right,
In
so
my
let's
opinion.
switch gears. Let's switch gears here for just a second. I want to
Yeah.
share with you a video that was sent to me earlier today to get your reaction. It ties in with the theme of unaffordable car prices. Last time we had a video pulled up, unfortunately, there was some feedback. That issue has been resolved. That being said, we cannot talk. Neither you or I can talk, Pops, until the video is completed. Okay, so just
How long's
stand.
the video? How long? So I know.
Here, I'll just mute you, okay?
Okay, perfect.
All right, I'm going to mute you, and then I'm going to mute me. You ready?
Yes.
Give me 1 second here.
Okay. Hey.
Extra that you don't need to actually get, but that doesn't matter. For 33 months, $6,000 down, they want $3,400 a month on a $137,000 car. That's
Feedback. There's
insane.
feedback, Zach.
Like,
There's feedback.
what?
I'm sorry, but there's feedback. The echo is terrible. Still terrible.
Why would there be feedback?
I don't know.
Oh, I had to mute myself. I forgot to mute myself. Can we try one more time?
No. Please.
Well, that example, that video that I screwed up again, man, damn it. I muted you. I forgot to mute myself.
Well,
There's
perfect.
maybe like a power dynamic there that I need
Yeah.
to work through. That was a $135,000 Range Rover, Dad.
Okay.
Did you see the lease payment prices on it?
I did not.
$34,000 a month with $3,400 a month with $6,000 down.
For how long?
36 months.
Sounds like a veritable bargain. What's
tragic, man?
30? Wait, that was, you said 3,400 a month?
Do the math, man. It comes out.
I'm getting my calculator right now. 3,400.
Yep.
Times 36. That's $122,400 plus the $6,000 down. So that's $128,400 that you're renting that 130. It seems to me like that dealer's making all the money. Yeah, that seems a bit much.
Okay, I'll pull it back up on the screen, not to play it, but just so we can look at the actual numbers. This is some of the insanity that's going on out there in the car market right now. Obviously, this is like an over-the-top example, but take a peek at this, Dad. The numbers again.
Yeah.
I'll just zoom right in. Market value selling price. This is for a Land Rover, Range Rover, $152,610. They are discounting it $15,000. If you ever needed to know how much markup are in these Range Rovers, there you go. 10% discount just off the top. And you have, that was the 33-month payment was $3,453. The 36-month payment is $3,335, again with $6,000 down. Insanity, man.
That is, it's way too much. You're paying almost for the full car over that 3 years.
That's for 10,000 miles a year.
Well, it is a Range Rover. You might only be able to drive it 10,000 miles a year. Yeah, that seems a bit much. Just a bit. Yeah. That could be a really, you got to be kidding me. That is for people that have what's that phraseology I use? Oh, for the people that have more money than brains. Why would you do that? Yes. If you can afford to do that, just stroke a check for the damn thing.
All right, the one that I had pulled up earlier, Dad, that we actually forgot to do. So this was Andy Moore Ford. All right, so Larry had sent this one in. So let's do a quick peek. We'll look at Andy Moore Ford. Again, this is CarEdge.com. Then go to dealer reviews. Then you're going to view the inventory, and then we're going to sort it by days on market oldest. Wow. 505 days.
That's a long time to be sitting on a transit van.
438 days, and it's an electric one.
I've got a question. Are they using that transit van as an Airbnb? I mean, otherwise, what's the excuse?
Look at this Mach-E, Dad.
Yeah.
319 days on this Mach-E.
Where?
Right here.
How many days?
319.
Wow. Yeah, that's a bit much. Wow. Well, I don't know. I think I'd be bending over backwards to sell that, to give that away, to find it a new home. I think I might open up an adoption center for a weekend and invite people to come in and adopt a new Ford of some kind.
Look how long they've been holding on to some of these used cars, Dad. This is not an anomaly. I mean, they
Yeah.
have some used cars that they've been holding on to for literally 250 plus days.
Well, good for them.
I don't see how that pencils, man. Like,
Well, I don't see how it pencils either, and that is probably a dealer that I don't think I could ever work for. So,
yeah.
there's some smart operators, and there's some not so smart operators, and then there's some really dumb operators. I feel fortunate in that I worked for the Penske organization for a long time. They're pretty smart operators. They know the metrics that they want you to concentrate on. When I worked, the last folks that I worked for, smart operators. Always wanted you to look at aged inventory. The whole thing is how you manage your inventory. It truly is. If you manage it incorrectly, the cost of mismanagement is astronomical. You're much better off turning it and hoping you get something in that you can sell quicker. There's no mystery to this.
Yeah, there really, really isn't. All right, I want to share a fun and interesting story, Dad. Kia has an exciting new electric vehicle coming out very, very soon.
Yes.
And they are begging and pleading with their dealers not to add markups. Look at this. This comes from Cars Direct. Kia is politely asking dealers not to mark up its highly anticipated EV9, but the brand's first 3-row electric vehicle set to arrive before the end of the year. The prospect of Kia EV9 dealer markups may loom over potential buyers who've already reserved their vehicles and been waiting to place a firm order. In a letter sent to its dealers on Tuesday, Kia wrote, quote, "The EV9 customer is an important new owner to the Kia brand, and price transparency will be paramount. As part of the purchase experience, we asked dealers to retail the EV9 without markup over the manufacturer's suggested retail price." What do you make of this, Dad? You got the OEM coming out saying, please don't mark up our EV9s.
Yeah, well, it's wonderful because what you're seeing is they're saying please because they have no control over it. Now, having said that, we also know that Kia is having a tough time selling their EVs. So I don't know why would anybody think that the Kia EV9, even though it's going to be a 3-row electric vehicle, that I have no idea what the pricing is going to be, but it's going to be higher than their current EVs that they can't sell. So why would they think that there should be a premium attached to the electric vehicles that they're having a hard time selling to begin with? It would seem to me,
man, it's new, and the Telluride had markups, so
Yeah, but the Telluride always sold. They're sitting on their electric vehicles. Their EV inventory is growing. We have seen statistics indicating that dealers are taking losses at Hyundai, Kia dealerships to move some of the EVs. So if you know the market isn't there for your EVs, and yes, the EV9 3-row, yeah. I mean, that's a bit. Still, you can't if you realize you haven't been able to sell the EVs that you have, don't put a premium on the one that somebody might actually want to take off your hands. And it's probably going to be the one that's the most expensive for you to floor plan because it's the most expensive one that Kia is going to send you. Just sell it at MSRP or less, move on with life. They'll replace it for you.
please. Sell it at MSRP, please.
Yeah,
That's the
please, because we can't compel you to do anything. Thank you, Shannon.
Shannon, thank you for the contribution. Shannon's with us most every weekend. We really appreciate it. We just have so much fun being able to hang out on Saturday nights together, me and my dad. And Shannon's always here with us. So thank you, Shannon. We appreciate your involvement and your commitment to our community. Yeah, it is kind of sad when you make the product and then you
Yes.
send. Doesn't this remind you of like the Ford memos from
Yes.
last year, the GM memos from last year? Yeah.
Yeah. And then for it to get leaked to a publication of some kind.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be even more embarrassing. And the reason I say that is because the manufacturer can't do a damn thing about it. Okay? And they know they can't do it. So it just looks poorly on the brand. It just casts a bad image. It's what can I tell you?
Pops, I saw this comment literally just come through in the chat, and I get slammed from time to time. Like,
Yeah.
you guys are always talking about CarEdge and whatnot. Matt, how do you get days on lot, and how do you know it's accurate? I will use that to negotiate, but I don't want the salesman to say that's not accurate. I hate to say CarEdge.com. Use the car search. It has days on market. Then you can use the free email templates, and you can go to Deal School, the free car buying course. So it's all so many good free resources back there. Davis, please go check that out. And sorry to everyone that I always talk about it, but like you got to repeat these things.
Yeah, and let's say that when the salesperson says, "Well, that's not accurate," in some cases, very well might not be, because we pick it up as a day on the market the day they start advertising it on their website. Okay. Now, if it was in transit for 90 days, plus it's still been on the lot for another 90 days, it'll show, based on our research, 180 days, even though it's only been there 90. So it all depends when they decided to start advertising it on their website, because, as I believe the technical term is, we scrub their websites every night.
I don't think that's a technical term. And I will say that you can ask a sales manager or a general manager to go in whatever their back end system, because all the different OEMs provide all the dealers with back end systems to look up various things. You can ask them, and they can pull a screenshot of how it's the columns typically age in the data table, and they
Yes.
can pull that and they can show that to you.
Absolutely. And the other thing that, if they want to say, okay, it's not accurate, we'll go after the car, look at the plate on the door sill, so you can see what month and year it was produced in, and then say, okay, well, this was produced in February of this year. I know you're saying that the days on lot are off. When did you get the car then? Are you telling me that it sat with the manufacturer for 120 days before you got it? Show me when you got it. Oh, well, we're not going to show you that. Well, if they don't want to show you, then why do you want to do business with them?
Transparency, man. All about the transparency. That's what you want to see.
And at most dealerships, I shouldn't say most. Okay. At dealerships I ran, if you said to the salesperson, to my salespeople, do you have any aged units you need to get rid of? When you came in? Yeah. They would go, yeah, I got a list. You want me to show them to you? As I said before, typically aged units have spiffs on them for the salespeople to make more money. So if a dealership doesn't want to share that information with you, they're not being run very well. Igor, help me here. Tell the world, you as a dealer principal, how much time did you spend looking at your aged inventory and saying to your managers, get rid of that aged inventory? Oh my God.
I'm waiting for him to respond, but I think it'll be here in just a second. Speaking of which, Dad.
Yes.
Clint says good people in the chat. And I think we should just simply acknowledge, Dad, the community here on YouTube, the chat during these live streams is incredible. People get so much help. So let's just take a moment and just thank everyone that spends some of their Saturday night, not only just spending time with you and me, Pops, spending time with everyone else in the chat, helping people out. There's so much good information that gets shared. So I just wanted to acknowledge that there are great people. Everyone that's here is a great person helping others, which we really appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole concept of what we're trying to do. I mean, you and I and our staff, we try and help people. But the whole concept of when you came up with the CarEdge community was for everybody to be able to help everybody. And, that seems to have taken off pretty darn well. And there's great value that you can get when you participate in the CarEdge community. And yes, the people that come in and watch these live shows and comment. Yeah, everybody's pretty much here to help everybody else. Now, there's a few people that come in here that just like to take shots at you and me, and well, that's okay. If that helps make their night, God bless them. I'm glad we could help.
Likewise, Pops. Likewise.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you got some help. Hours and every day, literally every day, I was on their backs. This is with regards to age of inventory and making sure that managers were moving it. So yeah, it makes a ton of sense. That's the whole theme. That'll be the theme between now and the end of the year. It's just aged inventory and the push for end of year deals and deal making, especially amidst high interest rates, which means it's harder for consumers and more motivation for dealers. So there you go.
It's the good operators. And I'm going to put Igor in that category. The good operators, they truly understand inventory management. That is the key to your success at the dealership. The quicker you can turn your inventory, the more times you can turn your inventory during the course of the year, the more money you're going to make, the better off you are, the fewer carrying charges you have. And so those are the metrics that as a department head manager, you need to concentrate on it. How long's that part been sitting on the shelf? Why? Why are these parts not moving at the rate that we thought they were going to move? Why are these certain models of cars not moving at the rate? What do we need to do to create more interest in these cars to get people to come in and go, yes, I'll take one? Those are the things department head managers need to concentrate on every day, and sharing that information with their staff and educating their staff how they can use it to their advantage to help get a customer into something sooner at a lower price. It's beneficial to us to take a lower price to get rid of it than to keep paying for the damn thing.
Definitely. Hey, Pops, I want to pull up one thing that I think is super cool. It ties back with the dealer reviews that we were looking at a bit earlier. I was just poking my head around here before we hopped on the show. There are currently 19 dealerships with only 5-star reviews. It's brand new, so it'll take a little time to fill out here, but you can come under resources, dealer reviews. And one of them that I noticed, Dad, good old Earl Stewart Toyota. Let's take a peek here. John submitted this review. 2023 Toyota Venza was purchased. Very honest, dealership, possibly one of one in Southern Florida. Would have loved to do business with them, but waited over a year for my Venza and just could not wait any longer. Ended up with a Honda. Okay, so they ended up not purchasing there. However, they're one of the good ones out there, and they had to leave the review.
And they are, because Earl, the dealer principal, he doesn't believe in playing the games, and he believes in transparency, and that's why he makes it as easy as he possibly can for his customers, because he doesn't want all the heartache and aggravation that comes with doing it, and not a nice manner.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Also, we are, as you can see, they're starting to capture some dock fees from different dealerships. It's currently a blanket dock fee. We're doing some rework this coming week. The idea is that we'll be able to capture dock fees for every single dealership out there as well. So you'll have one source of truth, not only for, good and bad dealers and dealerships you should, do business with, and those that you should contemplate, your decision. And then also dock fees will have one of the, hopefully, like the only database that actually has all the dock fees out there that everyone can refer to. And I think I want to pull up this comment, Ted. Why do so many dealerships have a hard time being honest? I think it has to do with money.
You think?
Yeah, I think.
The retail automotive is one of the few businesses where, for whatever reason, it's always been based off of negotiation. You typically you don't really get to negotiate when you go to Best Buy. When they advertise the price, you go in, you pay the price. You don't typically get to negotiate at Kohl's, where it's just like.
I love the retailers you choose because it's just a demonstration of where you shop. Kohl's.
I don't shop at either one of them. But But like, I get emails from both, but I don't shop at either one. Um, but automotive is one of the few that there are no real guidelines. There is no real standardized pricing. It's the only one of the few purchases that I am familiar with where um, everything hinges on the consumer's ability to be able to negotiate and to be aware of information that they normally wouldn't have available to them. And so I think that's why it's so hard for dealers, to be honest, because the way the business has been set up for the longest period of time has been, it's not set pricing. You see a price, you argue with your salesperson, you come to a conclusion, you buy it. It's never been, the price is the price. It just hasn't been. And so that's why I think when you leave it to the ability of someone to negotiate, and some people can negotiate better than others, some are better trained at it than others, some have an absolute fear of it. So some people are going to pay more than others, and it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, I think it's pretty simple though, Dad. Like it's profit. Like profit is what motivates dealers or anyone to be dishonest. It's a profit. It's money.
Yes. Yeah.
I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's what it is. Ashley's here with us. Hey, Ashley.
Hey, Ashley.
Nice to see you. Ashley is one of the members of the CarEdge team behind the scenes. Feel really fortunate to have her on this mission to make the industry more transparent, more fair, more efficient.
And I was going to say, and I got to spend an hour with her husband the other day.
Yes, that'll be on the Auto Insiders podcast and YouTube channel. If you haven't checked it out, Auto Insiders with Ray Shevska. Apologies. Go ahead, Pops.
Yeah, Demery's a wonderful young man, and he won't tell you he's young, but compared to me, he's young. He just really has the appropriate attitude for how a dealer should run a dealership when he was still in the business, and he was really a pleasure to chat with.
Yeah, I'm really excited to listen to that episode. You've done a great job on the 3 that I listened to. 1 will drop on Monday. That being said,
yes,
Bob says the Shevskas should open a car sales business that Ray talks about. Fair price, no BS. Investor, excuse me if I pronounce that incorrectly, says, will the future hold a, quote, CarEdge endorsed dealership certification of honesty program? I can only hope. All right, gentlemen, we are one step ahead of you. We've got, if you go to CarEdge.com and you scroll down just a touch, exclusive for CarEdge, 100% free home delivery on Ford, GM, Ram, and more. View this inventory. So we do have a trusted dealer program that we are just starting to work on. What I love about this, there's prices that are listed here. You really just need to submit the information. Then you get connected to truly me or one of the members of the team, and we have direct access to the dealership to be able to, the dealerships that are in this network, to be able to do pretty much all of it, guys. Like it's buying a car without going to the dealership, and it's going through CarEdge instead. So please go check it out. And if you're interested, check this little trusted dealer filter over here on the left. You can do all the filters and everything like that. We just have domestics right now for new vehicles and obviously used vehicles. And quite frankly, we haven't talked about it here on the YouTube channel because without talking about it on the YouTube channel, we are slammed behind the scenes. People are loving the buying a car through CarEdge experience because they don't have to talk to a salesperson. They don't have to worry about getting taken advantage of. The deal is very fair. We do everything up front and honestly. So I'm nervous sharing this on YouTube because tomorrow is Sunday and I really don't want to be on the phone all day. I want to have a day of rest and relaxation, but I saw those comments and I had to share it. We are working on that. Please keep it on the down low, relatively speaking. For now, I'm not going to bring it up for probably another month. Hopefully, in December we can talk about it again. But we are that's what we're working on. And it's
good really for you. Good for you. I'm proud of you.
All right, and then we've got from Mr. Norm, CarEdge, Father and Son Clowns. How many titles? It's over. Can there be? Don't worry, Norm. Do us a favor. Tune in again to the next one and the one after that and the one after that every time you watch. We make a
It's
nickel or a
over.
dime, and
Yeah.
we appreciate it. So please keep it coming, man. Keep it coming.
Yeah.
Hey, and we see the comments, guys. We understand. There was one earlier. It was Jonathan saying you've been saying the same thing for 6 months. You got to realize at a certain point, we just have a lot of fun doing this. Like, are we saying the same thing over and over again frequently? Yeah, because the news doesn't change that materially week to week. But do we still make the videos? Yeah, we have a lot of fun. This is when we hang out. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry if that doesn't, but thank you for watching, because every time you watch, we make some money. And then that goes into investing in the CarEdge business. It doesn't go in our pockets. It goes in the business. So we love it.
Yeah. And if we play our cards right, we'll really be able to afford better clown makeup.
Look who's in the chat, Dad. Driven together by Charlie Foster, another interviewee
Yes.
for your Auto Insiders podcast.
Yes, Charlie and I had I don't know, a few belly laughs for sure. During our conversation, Charlie is I learned so much about Charlie, and there are certain things that Charlie and I have in common. One of them, Charlie actually does or did, I don't know if he's still doing it, stand-up comedy. I tried it once, felt flop sweat on my forehead like 10 seconds in. My legs got shaky, and I was looking for a stool or a chair to sit down on, and there were none, so I just sat on the stage so I wouldn't collapse onto the stage. And what I found is my humor worked best if I had a desk, a cup of coffee, cigarettes, and a brochure. Without any of that, my jokes fell flat. Charlie, however, is quite the character, ladies and gentlemen. I would buy a car from him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, very excited for that episode. Unsolicited financial advice that I agree with from Clint. My best advice to young people: open a Roth IRA, put $150 a month in it for 30 years, and you'll be a millionaire. I love the way you're thinking, Clint. For those of you that are, relatively young, like, whatever. Just look,
you're young.
Google search. Yeah, Google search Roth IRA. Find a way to put, I think the max is like $6,500 a year or $7,000 or something. I don't know what it is. When I opened mine, it was like $5,500. Open one, folks. Save for retirement. Don't work your whole life. Coming from this guy, it's kind of scary to say that, but don't work your whole life. Enjoy the little things and open a Roth IRA,
well,
folks.
good. When can I get you to live by that advice that you just gave of don't work your whole life and start enjoying some of the little things?
I'm 28. Let me get to 40.
Oh, stop! Come on, man. I got Brandon going on a different path these days. I need to get you on a different path.
What do you mean Brandon's going on a different path?
Well, he's. You'll see from when our conversation.
Brandon from Car Questions Answer is a guest on Auto Insiders, so yes, I will see that as well. And no, you don't need to get me on a different path. I am incredibly happy. Do you feel the need to change me?
I'm not going to say.
You feel the need to change me?
I'm not going to say it. I feel the need for you to recognize that there's other aspects.
Oh, I don't know where my dad went. So that wow, must be technical issues. No, he knows how to hit the button.
Except I know how to bring myself back. I don't want you to look back one day and go, I wish I would have. I should have done this.
I love my life. That's sad that you.
I don't know
so
what
you like.
What?
Do you like pity me? Do you pity me?
I don't pity you. I pretty much let you do and try to stay out of what it is you do and how it is that you do it. And there are times that I wish that you would realize.
I'm like Igor, man. Like I get bored. I just get bored. I mean, I'm not rich as hell. I want to be very clear, but I do get bored. So that's the thing that I'm like.
I'm just saying you need to devote more time to other things in your life while you're pursuing building the business.
Can I tell you what I did today? Can I tell you what I did today? Let's
Yeah,
see if
please.
you
Please
let
share
me
with
see
me
if I
so
can
I'll
let
feel
me see
better.
if I can get some validation from my dad, some unnecessary validation from my dad. I woke up
Yeah.
at 5:30. I
Yeah.
slept in a little today. I woke up at 5:30
Mm.
and I just dropped that for you, just a little. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a shot at you. I slept in a little. I woke up at 5:30.
Yeah.
I worked for 3 hours until
Yeah.
8:30.
Yeah.
And then Laura, during that time, went to Orange there. My girlfriend Laura went to Orange there. I ran 14 miles today.
Yeah.
Felt great. Felt really, really good. Came back, took a shower, immediately went to Georgetown and went walking around and ate lunch and
Yeah.
walked around and bought mittens. TMI maybe, but bought mittens
Yeah.
and then walked around some more and then went home and then watched the Phoenix Suns basketball game because they were on and wow, do they look terrible.
That was
Yeah, they
tough,
look really
wasn't it?
bad.
That was
They
hard
look
to
really
watch.
bad.
Yeah.
Then I laid down for a little bit. Just laid down, took it easy for a little bit. Then I went grocery shopping. Then
Yeah.
I came back. Then I watched Seinfeld and ate cake and ice cream. And then I came
Yeah.
over here and now I'm doing a live stream. Come on, man.
And
Come on.
let me just say one thing. That last piece of apple cake, I know somebody that's already eaten it for you.
I can't imagine eating more apple cake, man. I'm stuffed of ice cream and apple cake. Like, come on, that's a great day.
I'm glad you had a good day. I am. I'm glad you had a good day. I want you to have. I want you to. What I would like is if you could figure out how to have more days like that. But maybe in time.
What do you mean more days like that? Every day is like that. Every day is great. Every day is perfect.
You'll be able to get an extra hour's sleep tomorrow, except you'll wake up at 4:30 because your body will think it's 5:30 because we turn the clocks back tonight.
Wildcat wants to know if we will ever sell public stock in the company. When we do, yes, when we do,
Yes.
that'll be when my dad can truly, hopefully be financially set, not need to worry about anything. That is what we're working towards, folks. Get Pops on an island somewhere with a microphone and yeah, that's what. But hopefully someday. That's the ambition.
I don't want you to say it got a. I don't want you to realize that it got a little chilly at the shore this week, and so I started looking at I thought, how about Palm Springs for the winter? Well, I can't afford to move to Palm Springs for the winter, so the hell with that. I'm gonna stock up in sweaters and fleece and space heaters and be good with it.
We're building this company. I'm seeing people say they're interested in buying stock in CarEdge. We're building this company in public. We're doing it on the YouTube channel. We're having a hell of a lot of fun. It'll go public someday because we're making the right change. We're doing it openly. We're doing it honestly. And then my dad will be able to get that place in Palm Springs. That is, and I will feel ultimate.
I don't really want a place in Palm Springs. I don't know where I want a winter place.
Get a couple places. Get a couple places.
Well, I guess
this is future state that doesn't actually exist. It's like just whatever. You'll have one, and you'll be all right. You'll have places.
I just I like where I live for the summer, and the condo. I get what would happen when we reach that point and we go public. I'll break down and I'll spend the 20 grand it takes to replace the sliding glass door that let all the air in the winter. And then and then it'll be like perfect here. And I wouldn't have to have a car here and a car wherever else I go. I could just live here. But the fact that my sliding doors are kind of like screen doors in the winter.
Final comment for tonight's show, gang. Where is Ray's steak dinner? We're not going to talk about it tonight, but we're going to talk about it tomorrow. We talked about it a little bit on Thursday and Friday. Supposedly, possibly, my dad's coming down to Washington, D.C. this next weekend. So a week from today, we will be going out for a steak dinner. But let us talk about it tomorrow. I'm tired tonight.
Yeah, the one thing I will tell you, I contacted Del Frisco's to see if they had a private room that we could do a live stream from. And just between you and me, we got that the boardroom. It's called the boardroom. It's $2,000 minimum food and beverage. So if we do a steak dinner, it won't be live streamed.
Well, we could live stream it from my house. How about we live stream it from my house? I'll make you steaks.
No, that's not going to work. No, I'm afraid not. No. Nope. No, absolutely not. We're going to a real restaurant. Okay.
Maybe we won't live stream. We'll just
Yeah,
take some photos.
yeah. So yeah, maybe maybe we live stream it with your phone, like we did at the auto show.
That's not a bad idea. I could get like a gimbal and we could get mics. Yeah, let me look into that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, well, everybody else in the restaurant might not care for it, but
What do we care?
yeah, screw them.
Screw 'em.
Yeah,
It was a goal we had, and my dad gets a steak dinner, and I'm excited.
Yeah, so the possibility exists that I could be taking the train down to Washington D.C. next Saturday.
Stay tuned, folks. All right, Pops, I'm gonna go home because I don't know. I just told you about my whole day. I'm exhausted, so I'm gonna go to bed.
Okay.
I would love to hear maybe tomorrow about your day, or maybe I'll call you on my walk home. Okay. I love you.
I love you too. You have a great night. I'm jealous that I didn't get any apple cake at all, but apparently it was good. And maybe we could have apple cake next weekend.
Awesome, G-Tech. Happy to help. We'll see everyone back here on Monday on the Ray and Zach channel. Enjoy tomorrow's Really You Gotta Be Kidding Me. Really You've Gotta Be Kidding Me video that comes out at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific. Have a great weekend. Love you, Pops.
Love you too. I'll see you. Yeah, we're filming tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. And the Suns did suck big time today. Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
really rough.
Yeah.
All right, good night,
they're hard to watch.
They really are
hard to watch.
Really are. Bradley Beal has a bad back, man. He looks worse than you and me when we have bad backs. Like, how is that? Like, and he's getting paid $50 million. I know, but still.
No, we're still live. You need to.
Oh, we're live on the stream?
Yeah.